I'm telling you, every single episode that gets me so jacked, circa 2003, Montreal Area Nightclub. What a time. Episode 133, folks. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've done, about a week or so. Thank you for your patience. We got a great one lined up for you today, sponsored by our friends at Datsusara. Check them out online at dsgear.com. 100% made with hemp gear for victory. Been sponsoring and supporting our events on the East Coast for a hell of a long time. Really excited for this episode. We got two gentlemen off the East Coast Jiu-Jitsu and MMA scene. Let's bring them on first right away. We're going to bring him on. He's a guy who's competed in lots of events locally and traveled a little bit. Himself and his brother and Peter Seamus and a great team there in Forca Training Center. They do a fantastic job in Cole Harbour, running a great program there, and definitely big parts of the scene here on the East Coast. So without further ado, Mr. Patrick Lipford, how are you, sir?
Doing good, Kev. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks again for your patience and thanks for joining us. It's been we had to delay a couple times, so again, thanks for your cooperation with that. And how you been?
I've been doing well. Obviously less training than I'd like with the lockdown and everything. It's getting extended again today, so doing what I can. I got a very supportive girlfriend though, who doesn't mind tossing a gi on when she's over and letting me drill. So that's keeping me a little sane.
That's very important. I've been working on Chelsea for a long time with that. So kudos to her. That's awesome. Yeah, with another week lockdown here announced today here in the Halifax area, quite shitty.
Yeah, I saw it coming. I was talking to my brother earlier last week, and we were both kind of agreeing that 2 weeks is just to kind of smooth it out, but it's gonna last a little longer than just 2 weeks. And
I think so too. Yeah,
but we'll be back. We survived the first several month lockdown. That was actually, funnily enough, the first time I had taken more than 3 weeks off of jiu-jitsu in 7 years. So
the body welcomed it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was dealing with some lingering issues, so it was nice to work strength and conditioning for a while, actually.
Yeah, it's important, like I'm 40 now, and I realize I actually just started going to, we'll shout out to Warren Heff, who just automatically fixed a bad hip, and he's like, this is why you're doing this and this. And it's funny, taking care of your body is so important, and it's something that I'm just starting to realize. I always just went and rolled and got away with rolling, with just going to have fun and doing it, and never put anything else into it. And once you start looking after that stuff, it's a whole different game.
I don't want to sound like, I'm so much older than I actually am, right? About 24, but yeah, I started training when I was 17, right? And I remember, we used to train for 4 hours in a row, Muay Thai, running, jiu-jitsu, and then go eat an extra large pizza afterwards on Friday nights, right?
Yeah.
And we do that 5-6 days a week. But just about 24 now, man. I feel it in the joints. I feel, I always tell my dad when we're chatting, I've got worse knees than he does at 50. So
yeah, it's a very hard sport, and like you said, you have been doing it for a long time and started at such a young age. I want to get into that and how you get into it. Like everybody I talked to on this podcast, everyone has a different story, but somewhat similar. What got you into the whole scene?
So I say this 3/4 jokingly. I got peer pressured into it. Okay. So I'm actually the last person in my entire immediate family who started training.
Oh, really?
So my brother Graham, he started training first. He wanted to get into martial arts. Started with Muay Thai, moved on to Jiu-Jitsu when he was started training when he was 12, I believe. So he did that, and then my mom, my sister, my other brother, my dad, my stepdad, they all followed eventually. And I was the last one hanging on, right? I'd be the person, okay, guys, we're going out training. Okay, I'm just, going to relax here at home. See you guys later. Yeah. I was always kind of skinny. I loved bike riding, growing up, hiking, the whole nine. It wasn't that I wasn't interested in martial arts. I grew up on Bruce Lee movies. I grew up on Jackie Chan and badly dubbed Kung Fu movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the thought of actually going and doing it just didn't really vibe with me, I guess, at the time. And then we were at my mom's birthday dinner, 2013, I guess. And Peter was there, the owner of the gym. A couple guys from the gym were there. And just talking, Peter was like, hey, man, your mom's doing a private lesson with me tomorrow afternoon. Just come along. It'll be free. Just come try Muay Thai. It's fine. I'm surrounded by guys. I can't say no. I'm surrounded by everyone. So I did some private lessons for a while. Had no interest in jiu-jitsu whatsoever. I was like, oh, I'll punch things. Sure, that's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Like most.
And yeah, exactly. Like most people, I think. In fact, Graham's the same way. If you ask him, like he started with Muay Thai, had no interest in jiu-jitsu until he was practically forced into it.
Yeah.
But probably 6 months later, it was actually, I don't remember the exact day, but it was the first week of January 2014. A couple of my friends from Muay Thai, Graham and Peter, were like, dude, just do one jiu-jitsu class. Like, just go try it. I don't care. Like, it's right after Muay Thai. Just stick around. Graham's sticking around anyways. And I did one. I didn't actually I enjoyed jiu-jitsu, but I didn't actually love jiu-jitsu until almost a year in to training, actually, when I competed for the first time. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily forcing myself. I enjoyed training. And a lot of our classes at the time were right after Muay Thai. So I wouldn't do every day. I only trained jiu-jitsu 2 or 3 days a week for the first 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And Muay Thai a couple days a week. But yeah.
You guys have a very tough club. Very tough. Yeah. A lot of really tough guys.
That's actually kind of the consensus thing that we get told when we have black belts, brown belts come in from out of town, is everyone says man, your white belts are strong and tough.
Yeah.
Big time. It's just the culture at the gym. It's not a meathead culture, but I think it's why we vibed so well with Carlson Gracie when we switched affiliations, is we train all the new school stuff. I'm super into lapel guard. I'm super into berimbolo, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I love pressure passing. I love, putting that top pressure on people. And everyone's the same way at the gym. And that culture just really kind of meshed well. Pressure builds diamonds, man.
Well, that's exactly it, right? You're either willing to jump in and join or you're going to go somewhere else, right? And if you're going to buy into the product, hard training is good. Some people get away from it. And I probably in the last 6 months, I haven't had a shit ton of hard training. Since, I don't know, just since COVID and everything, I've had some hard rounds, but not any of those days where it's been a 3-hour session straight of really good hard rounds with really good people. And I miss that.
Oh, I love it so much, man.
Yeah, it's so addictive.
It really is. I was so sad. My brother, Graham just went down in the fall and, he competed in Miami. I wish I could have been a part of his kind of training camp, I guess you want to say, for that. Had an intercostal strain 2 weeks into his hard training for it. So I just couldn't roll, was out. Had to just drill for a month. So I couldn't be a part of that. It really sucked.
They're one of the worst.
I love it.
One of the worst fucking injuries.
I have never had an injury like that before. I've messed up my knees, never needed surgery for anything, but sprained my ankles, messed up my elbows, things like that. But I've never had an injury. I got home that night and I just remember lying down in bed and I was I work a desk job. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I through my jiu-jitsu history, because in Pictou County, there was a lot of guys and girls who were parents or whatever and doing it, who are my age, 30 plus, and we'd get hurt like that, and they're like, what in the hell? Why am I doing this? But you heal up and you just can't wait to get back to doing it. It's just a love-hate addiction. The more I get beat up, sometimes when I'm going with a hard roll and someone is just putting it to me and I'm just trying to survive, I laugh. I start laughing because it's so fun, man.
It is. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it really is. But you're a good competitor. You've competed lots. Obviously, I'm sure you would say there's holes in your game that competitor wise.
Definitely, a lot I'm working on.
Everyone's their first, their best critic, right? But you do compete well. And what's that for you? What's your experience of competing been like?
So competing for me, I love it. Personally, I consider myself, and I've been a purple belt for a while now, but I'm still a purple belt. So I don't consider myself I would say if anything a coach to our lower belts, right? Yeah. I am a co-head kid instructor at the gym, but for adults, I am just kind of one of the coaches there that's there all the time for the white belts. Mm-hmm. But I consider myself teaching is what I've always enjoyed doing more than anything. I've grown up playing video games. I used to play a lot of online video games. I still do. And anytime, I'd run into somebody that maybe was newer or less skilled in our guilds or whatever, I'd be the person reaching out to them and building them up. And that's what I've always enjoyed. So with jiu-jitsu, starting to move into that higher belt territory, that's kind of what I enjoy more. But I still absolutely love competing. We were planning on taking a bunch of guys down to the Ontario Open this year before COVID. I'd went the prior year as well. That was a lot of fun.
Giving back, eh? Like that's
giving back is everything to me.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot with your social media and stuff. Like, and that's a big thing for me because, like, just being like you said earlier about like talking to people and just like that's a huge thing for people coming into our gyms. Like someone who can just like be like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And positive reinforcement, and it means the world to a lot of people. Because they're there for different reasons. Everybody's there for different reasons, right? And I love that.
I try never to forget what it was like to be a brand new white belt because I was like I'd even been training at that gym. Like I started training Muay Thai before Jiu-Jitsu, and even still I was super nervous and super skittish when I started training Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of the same guys even.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking shit.
Yeah, I try never to forget just how intimidating it is walking to the gym, and then you train and you realize everyone's just chill. Everyone just wants to have a good time.
Yeah, and like people are like, oh, like do people go hard? I'm like, yeah, people go hard, but that's the reason. Like, you're there. Like like there's lots of times you'll flow roll and go a little lighter or whatever, but there's times when you're gonna go hard, and if you can't take that and you don't want to do it, it might not be the sport for you, right? But
exactly,
it's remembering what it was like as a white belt is huge, and I don't want to pass that up. Shout out to your brother again for going down there and taking New Breed and doing going home with the belt. The kid's a stud. He's great, fantastic.
I always say, man, I might be his older, like biologically, I'm his older brother, but I look up to him like an older sibling in jiu-jitsu. So he started a couple years before me. So we have black belts at our gym, and I don't want to take anything away from our black belts because they are amazing, amazing, amazing people. Yeah. But for me personally, I consider him kind of my direct coach. He's just so close to my game, or I'm so close to his game that, it's a really common saying, you learn a month of jiu-jitsu in one competition. I feel like that's every time I roll with him. So
he's so good. So I haven't had the pleasure of rolling with you, but I've had the pleasure of both rolling and getting tapped out by your brother. I think he came to our club. I was a brown belt. I think he was probably, what is he now? Is he a brown belt now?
It's purple belt. Still
a purple belt?
Yeah.
Wow. So I think he was a blue belt then. And like, I don't know, like you just toying with me. Like he's a phenom if he wanted to be. He's a big, talented
kid. He does that to all of us. So
yeah. No, man. And laughs. That's the fun part about it, right? Because that's the beauty again of this sport. Like there's levels to this. Like it's nothing like people say to me, oh, you're a black belt. I'm like, I'm a black belt because I've also trained for like 10 and a half years, hard training. It's not like I'm like cyborg and I went and competed. And I'm a firm believer that there's two forms of black belts. I really am. Like there's a hobbyist black belt who is like me. Don't get me wrong. I'll fight if I have to, and I know my stuff, but then there's other levels of black belt, people who are really high level black belts who like, there's just a different level.
There really is, man. Like, I've had the absolute pleasure of rolling with some very high level black belts. Hood Rich, hometown boy. He likes to stop in our gym whenever he's here. And like, let me tell you, man, like training with someone who's trained at Atos HQ for years, that it hurts. He's crazy, crazy technical, crazy strong. Some amazing rounds I've had with him and, him and some other people. And it's totally different,
Well, you guys do a ton of gi over there too, right?
Yeah, I would say we're like the opposite of Pictou County, actually.
Yeah, totally opposite.
We have one gi, one no gi class a week, and everything else is gi. And that's the way I like it. I'm a gi guy personally. Don't get me wrong. I love my hang routines. Like I'll latch onto a neck in a heartbeat in no gi, but like I said, I love my lapel guards. I love my barambolos. I'm very much a sport guy. What is it for you? Is it gi and no gi?
The science of it, like because when I roll, like I don't think. I just go. I don't think about anything. I just go. But you're not that way. Like is it that?
I'm a very cerebral person when I roll. Like when I finish up a roll, I'm playing that roll back like 10 times in my head, figuring out every little minute position that I could have done better, little grip changes. And I think that's the big thing is, with no-gi, I feel like because it's a lot, I don't want to say it's more athletic because I think when people say that, they're trying to demean the technique required because there's a lot of technique required in no-gi.
Yeah.
But, when I roll no-gi, and let's say I was trying for a guillotine. There's only like a couple of different changes that I could make in a guillotine choke, really, to change the outcome of if I got the tap or not. In gi, if I'm going for a lapel guard, there's like 1,000 different things I could have done differently. And as someone who's very like cerebrally minded and very technical in the way I think about jiu-jitsu, that's just so much more fun for me to just deep dive into it, almost like I'm reading a textbook or something when I'm done a roll.
Very interesting, man. And that's the way I feel about it. Like when I'm rolling with people like yourself, or like Josh Whalen's a very similar to that. Like he's a very technical gi grappler, and I struggle against that a lot because I'm totally opposite. And I always fun. It's like that chess game, man. It's so fun. That's good to know when we roll, Patrick.
Yeah. It's funny. You mentioned Whalen. He's actually one of the most fun matches I've ever had. I got the chance to compete against him when I was a newer purple belt. Nice. And it was one of the most technical matches I've ever had. It was just, you could tell both of us were thinking throughout the whole thing. It was really, really fun.
He is very, very technical. He's a very hard roll for me. Like he beats the shit out of me a lot in gi or no gi, but he just like the way his style is just like very technical, and I struggle with it a lot. And we talk about it a lot actually, because he first came and competed. I think it wasn't his first competition, but one of his competition when he came and he competed against Lucas Weiland at one of the events we did, a purple belt showdown, and he lost to the Steam Lock. Like quick.
I think I remember watching that actually
in like 30 seconds, and it pissed him off. And like now he catches me in it, and he's like within seconds, and he's like, that taught me that, right? And losses teach you a lot. You also competed on our show.
I did. It was I learned more about I will say more about Kimura defense than anything, and I think man, shout out to Drake Farrell. Like he just killed it at your guys' event recently. I love the guy. Competing against him a couple times has been fun. I'm 0-2 against him. I want to get a gi match in at some point. We had a gi match when we were both like new blue belts, and haven't had one since. So
nice. Well, that's
I love the dude. Yeah, I love the dude, man. When we competed, like the big standout for that, I've watched that match back so many times to learn from it. The one big standout from that was I was training so many leg locks for that match because it's Kent's guy, man. Like, of course he's going to be going for leg locks, and he barely went for any leg locks. I was so mad. I was like, man, I trained for this for like a month. And he went nothing. But I learned because I entered leg entanglements because I was very confident with it. And I learned just how tight you have to be with your legs, and I didn't really realize that in the training room. And now I feel like heel hooks are a big part of my no-gi game, and because of that match, that's why.
That's a thing. Like people don't understand that. Like I see so many people putting a heel hook on with their legs. Not like it's just not, if those knees aren't tight and like if they're not like your legs aren't locked together, it's not a wasted position obviously, but it's like so much harder to get. And yeah, it's interesting. Like I've lost every match I think I've ever done in my shows. Like, and I'd never learned anything. Actually I shouldn't say that. You know what I do learn? I need to train harder. Like I need, because I never give myself I never train hard because I'm so focused on the damn event, and I never get the proper training and like eating properly and doing myself justice, right? So at some point I got to do that. I saw Lex Friedman, one of the MMA promoters in the States. He went and fought last week, and I'm like, oh dude, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that. But MMA, I think any of you guys, I know you have one.
Yeah, Simon.
Simon,
yeah. He's man, he's a terror in the training room, man. Like I really, really hope he gets to showcase his skills because he's something else. I think he did a kickboxing fight last year or at the beginning of this year, I can't remember. And did really well in that. And he's he's a blue belt, but he's one of my toughest rolls in the gym, man. The dude's like just really physical, got that MMA style.
Yeah.
For me personally, man, I always said as a blue belt I was going to have one MMA fight, but I'll be completely honest. Now, I don't want to say I'm creeping up on brown, but 2.5 years into purple belt, not really any interest whatsoever. Like I enjoy gi jiu-jitsu. I tell people like, man, I've been training for just about 7 years. I'm not going to do something if I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm always amazed. Like, cause for me, like I'll promote MMA all day long. I'll train. Sure, I'll do a little train like MMA, but I don't want to get in a cage and fight at all.
Mhm.
So for me, I'm always amazed and impressed by these athletes who are willing to do this. Like
Oh
it's
yeah, man.
like even jujitsu, like for me, like people who just get in there and get after it, it's so fun to watch. And it takes a lot to get in there and do. People don't realize the amount of cardio you have to push like that for a 5-minute match. Like you got to be in good shape.
Well, it's funny, and to your point earlier about competing and having to train harder, I think that's the number one thing Graham always says to me after a match. Like whenever I lose a match, like the one thing he says, like, "Man, you got to train harder next time."
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like if I've spent 2 months killing myself on the mats, it's just reaffirming that, like, well, if you had trained, if you'd done an extra session on Tuesday, if you had done 2 more rolls on Friday, maybe you wouldn't have gassed out there. Maybe you would have had a slicker transition, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's true.
It's so important.
It's true. Like every high level athlete, you look at it, it's just they're like outworking the next person. That see, everybody's got skill. Like you look at everybody in the UFC or what high level, no-gi worlds or jiu-jitsu worlds or whatever. Everybody knows how to do jiu-jitsu at a high level. So it's just those small ass transitions. So that's good, man. That's good advice from Graham, and obviously he's doing it at a high level. I'd love to see him on one of our events at some point.
I hope so too, man. I know he's not a big super fight fan. He prefers competitions, but hopefully you guys can get him on.
Yeah, we'll have to throw him a belt or something.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you, man, like our kids class loved that belt that he got in Miami. Like he put it up next to our the SAU trophies we have, and there's a flock of kids over there for like a week.
Awesome. Good for them, man. That's the beauty of this whole thing. Like, yeah, we talk about competition and we talk about everything that comes with it, the hard work. But when you're giving back and I see the pictures and the kids running around and training, and that's like, I didn't have that as a kid. So to me, it's an incredible thing that's going to benefit their life in so many ways. So kudos to you
guys. Like teaching kids, honestly, don't get me wrong, I love training. But teaching kids, honestly, is the most fun thing I do in jiu-jitsu. It's just so rewarding. Like one of the stories that I really like to tell, because I think it speaks so well to how important jiu-jitsu is to kids, is we had a kid, and we still have this kid, he still trains, but we had a kid come in last summer, and he's pretty fat, but not super fat, but pretty fat, really, really inflexible, right?
Yeah.
And we were doing like shrimps and forward rolls and back rolls. He was like a week or 2 into jiu-jitsu at this point.
Yeah.
Couldn't do a back roll. Even if I helped him, just was not, his neck was not flexible enough to do a back roll. And I just remember him looking at me and he said, "Man, I'm never going to be able to do this. Like, there's no way I'm doing this." And I said, "Listen, give me a month. You're going to be doing them, no problem." And like 3 weeks later, he was just doing back rolls down the mat like it was nothing. And I went up to him and was like, "Hey man, like, do you remember the conversation we had a few weeks ago?" He was like, "Yeah. What about it?" And I was like, "Well, didn't you say you'd never do this?" And what did I say? 3 weeks, a month, you do it. And he was like, "Oh," he saw it click. Like, "Oh, if I put my mind to something, it actually does work."
Fantastic. Good for you.
And that's so important for kids to learn.
That's huge. How old was he?
I want to say he was 10 at the time.
Goals, engaging. Like I find so many people like it's easy to be negative, and I'm guilty of it myself, but like if you can just like be that person, like you just said, like just be that person. And that's what the gym, like even Kealan, who's coming up next, like everybody you see who you train, everybody's so tight with the people they train with, man. And that only comes from being in that room and knowing what everyone's going through. And it's just a wonderful sport. And the more we can be better to one another and better to the kids coming up, it's better, man, for everybody, man. So keep it up.
Exactly. Like Pete McGregor. I don't know if you've had him on or not, but
no, I know he was speaking about though. Yeah. He
came in and he did not at our gym, but at another gym. He did a adaptive grappling seminar a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember really any of the techniques from it, but I remember one of the things he said at the start of the seminar that's stuck with me to this day. And it's one of my main training philosophies now, is he said, for anyone who doesn't know, he's paralyzed below the waist. He's purple belt. It's totally legit. I've watched him roll. It's insane.
Very cool.
But he said, you can fail at everything that I teach you today, but the one thing that I don't want to hear is I can't do this because, and you think about it, right? He's paralyzed below the waist and doing jiu-jitsu and training and doing everything. And yet, what excuse do I have to say that I can't learn a berimbolo just because, well, maybe I have to work on my flexibility a little bit, or maybe my neck's too stiff, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I impart to the kids all the time. Is like, I'll give me any excuse you want, just never say you can't do something because you've defeated yourself already.
Well, and that's exactly right, man. Like can't is a very powerful word. That's a big thing I struggle with myself is like self-esteem sometimes, right? And bring people up, not put them down. And you think about Pete, like how difficult at first it would be for him just to get on a plane to go to this place to teach a jiu-jitsu class. Like the effort that requires this man to do things is 10 times what it requires a person that isn't paralyzed, So it's motivating, man. It's special. And that he is a good guy. Actually, we should get him on the podcast. Very motivating individual.
I've loved talking to him, man. Like I haven't spoken at length to him or had any very long conversations, but just have the short conversations I've had have always been really nice. Yeah, man. Like, it's important. And don't get me wrong, that's something I struggle with too every day, man. Like, like you said earlier, I think everyone's their own worst critic. I definitely am. Like, I think to look at it objectively, my jiu-jitsu is probably like 5 times better than I give myself credit for. Yeah. But I just see like every little hole, and it's very easy to get very down about your game. It's like, man, like, I really suck at like transitioning in this position instead of, talking about the good positions you're, good at instead.
Well, and or focusing on like, okay, well, how many people were here tonight? 4? Well, that's like, when the grand scheme of things, like there's so many people that can't do this, and here I am doing this, and doing it well. So
exactly,
yeah, it's a great sport, man. Keep doing what you're doing there at Forca Training Center. Keep being a positive influence yourself, your brother Peter, and the rest of the gang, Mr. Kelvy, and everybody there. You're doing a great job. So keep it up. With further ado, I don't know what I'm talking about here. Well,
thanks, man.
At the very end, shout outs. Anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, shout out to the gym, man. Forca Training Center. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today doing this podcast if it wasn't for that gym. Like, they've really shaped me as a person, shaped me, as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. And like you said, man, like some of the toughest roles, I think, in the province, just in terms of the training atmosphere. So, I mean, guys, follow me on Instagram, @pat_BJJ. I am going to bring the podcast, the Coastal Grappling Podcast, back. People have been asking me. I'll get it at some point in the holidays. So Coastal Grappling on YouTube. Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure coming on here. I appreciate the opportunity to just get a chat in.
Yes, man. Anytime. I'd love to have you. Maybe we can do another roundup or something. I'd love to have you back on and we can chat. And again, keep doing great things. Everybody give them a follow online and on YouTube at Coastal Grappling Podcast. And we'll chat with you very soon, my man.
Definitely, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, buddy. Take care. There you have it, folks. Mr. Patrick Lipford. Fantastic. First guest, folks. Great to have him. A very, very smart individual who does a lot of jiu-jitsu, and he's very good at it. So let's get into our second guest. Again, this episode, my friends, is sponsored by Datsusara, dsgear.com, 100% made by hemp gear for victory. So our second guest here, folks, he's coming up. He's an MMA athlete, an amateur MMA athlete out of Fit Plus MMA in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, under Scott McLean. Super talented grappler. He's competed all the time. He competes any single chance he gets. Fighting, he hasn't fought probably in a year or so now, MMA, but he's going to get back on the horse. I know that very, very soon. And he's looking for another opportunity as soon as he can get one, I'm pretty sure. So a very smart guy, and again, very talented in many different facets of the martial arts game. Mr. Kealan Samson, how are you, sir?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, buddy. Welcome to the show. How you been?
Thanks for having me. I've been good, man. Just, working and training and trying to survive, eh?
I hear it, man. I hear it. Yeah, it's good to see you still training and kind of getting the rounds in, and it's crazy, hey?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how it's going to come out of it. Like, we were hoping we can pull a show off in February still, but I don't know. It depends on how this vaccine goes, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully it goes well, and we can start getting that back up and running. I know probably every fighter's going crazy trying to get fights, or
As it should be, right? Like everybody's looking to get that opportunity, and the longer they kind of keep it going for people, like I don't know, it could have a bad effect. But fingers crossed, this vaccine is going to be big, man. But anyway, let's get into something positive. I want to ask you, like you've been at this whole game again, like Patrick. Like I ask everybody about this martial arts. How'd you get into it? Why'd you get into it? And yeah, tell us.
Well, I first got into it, I was probably 18. I just wanted to, give it a try. I started out actually at Titans for probably 2 months. It wasn't very long.
Okay.
Because then I moved, right? I moved to Cape Breton, back to Cape Breton.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So it was good. I just want to, get in shape, learn how to defend myself. Eventually got down to moved to Cape Breton, did zombie proof for a bit, probably 2 months. Back to Halifax. I moved a lot. So I went to get Chinese food actually, and I looked to the side and there's people hitting pads, and it was actually at 374. So that's when I started going there. Took my first fight just to say I did it. There's not on my record, but I actually won that fight. And so that's what kept me going.
Who was that against?
It was against Jonathan Lipford. He's from TriStar Campbellton. I don't think they are open anymore, but it was with Fight Night 13, I think it was. I think it's Bruno Loretz.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like same day weigh-in, no medicals, just like underground. So
Gonna start doing them that way pretty soon. If this goddamn stuff doesn't go away, we're gonna be doing cats fights outside pretty soon.
Pretty much, yeah. I moved to Lake Echo. I bought my house, and then that's on the other side of the bridge. The bridge was getting too much.
Yeah.
Started going to Fit Plus, and here I am.
And the rest is history. Good for you. Good for you, man. You guys have a great crew, a very tight crew over there.
Very tight.
That's I'm always interested in that, like, because everybody over there too is like kind of the same size, like not the same size, but like within like 30 pounds, other than Zach, I guess.
Yeah, Zach, and there's other guys that you haven't met yet.
Yeah, that's the thing, I guess.
There's more heavyweights.
But you have a good crew of like solid people who are like kind of the same size. Yeah.
Well, we usually even like split us up. So like me, Khalifa, the really small guys will go over here, and then like the Lukes and the Andrews and whatever will go over here, and that's how we'll train for a bit.
Yeah, little bubbles.
Yeah.
Goddamn bubbles. I'm sick of bubbles. Side bubbles. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, has Zach been trained at all? Obviously, shut down.
Not the last week. Yeah, he was training. Yeah.
Yeah, it's man. You guys had a very good performance at Fight League Atlantic 1. Hopefully,
hopefully I get on there one of these days.
Is that your plan? Like, are you looking to fight again right away?
Yeah. I'm trying to, talk to Scott and whatever, see what he thinks, and try to find us an opponent.
Cool, nice. Yeah, it's because I know like it's for you, and like I know other athletes too. Like after you get a couple fights, there's things that you kind of want to work on. What were the big things for you that you were trying to kind of work on through this little break and before you kind of get back in there?
Mostly the mental thing. I find mentally I was not really there for my last fight, especially dealing with people like, talking you down or whatever.
Yeah.
Just, it
takes a fucking toll on you, man. Let me tell you.
So Scott and Brad and Andrew, they all helped me out really well with that. And I've read some books, I'm working on the mental game for sure. I feel I have the skills to do it. So once I get the mental part down, then it's going to be.
That's huge, man. Good for you. Good for you. Like so many athletes have taken that route now because it's like, I know how to fight, or I'm learning, I'm learning how to fight, but, I'm confident in my skills enough now but the mental game is such a huge aspect to this whole thing. It is, man. It really is. Like,
I don't realize sometimes I find. I think like do it, and it's harder than it looks.
Oh, dude, like that's like, man, I struggle so much even for a jiu-jitsu competition. Like, fuck. Like, want to puke, but it is what it is. You go out and you do it and whatever. But it's like, then I can go and do an event, like, and I'm not nervous at all. It's the weirdest thing. You got all this money in the line with John, and there's no nerves. But then you go in to do a grappling event, like with someone who you know for 10 years, and you're nervous. Like, what the fuck? Like, it makes no sense, right? But what books did you read?
Mind Gym was the main book that I read. It's really good. It's really good. I still have it. It's in my car in the middle console. I take it out sometimes.
Smart. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Just
Yeah.
kind of to have there if you're ever kind of
Yeah.
very smart.
I'm always at work or like the gym early, so I'll just like take it out sometimes and go through it.
Man, you know what I started doing, and it's actually a sports psychologist I've been working with, is every night in a journal I'll write something positive about myself.
Yeah, I heard
and
that's
then,
good to do.
and then read it in the morning, and it definitely works. Because most times before I'd wake up, and I've struggled with it the last probably 2 days I haven't done it, but other than that, like you wake up and you're like, instead of going on your phone and reading the shit news or whatever, scrolling through negativity, you're reading that and you're like, oh yeah, and you give yourself that pat in the back, and it's such an important way to start your day.
Absolutely.
Like the shit that you deal with in run the fight promotion is like the most horrendous shit sometimes you ever want to deal with. It's just foolishness, right? So the more you can kind of block it out, the better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So who was it? Like you mentioned those guys like Andrew and Scott and Brad, like influences, people who have kind of guided you in this whole process. Like as a team, that's what it's all about, right?
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah, the whole classic line, man. It's very true. Yeah. How's Scott doing anyway?
Scott's good. Yeah, he's it's hunting season, so he's he's out there. So
didn't get anything yet?
Not even sure. I don't think so, but
you hunt?
No. Family members do. I just don't have time, really. It's not something I'm really into.
Yeah. I've never held a gun in my life, actually. I don't
know. I've definitely held guns, but
no,
I haven't gone.
The boys in Cape Breton giving you all the love. Look, old Victor.
Loving the boys.
Yeah, what a cat Victor is. Justin McKenzie. Yeah, they're all good guys, man. Good people. I don't know who this guy is. Big Orange here. Cat, I've been watching your podcast, not in the loop, so I didn't know you had this going on. Shout out to whoever you are. I'm not sure who you are, but thank you for watching. But yeah, it's so you. Another thing I wanted to. So you when this whole COVID thing started, and Brad's into it too. Arbonne.
Yeah.
Like, are you still doing it?
Not recently, not as much as I should be. I'm still like signed up as a consultant and whatnot. Yeah. No, I just been working and trying to hit the gym, and I teach kids at the gym too. So it's just and I have a girlfriend now, so that kind of takes up a lot of time.
It takes up a lot of that time, man. Did you enjoy it though when you were doing it?
Yeah, I really did enjoy helping people. So it was really fun to do when people actually like listened and didn't think I was trying to screw them out of something. But
it's a hard business that way, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is Brad still doing it?
I believe so. Yes, I believe him and his wife do that together still.
Yeah, Tara. Yeah, his commercial he did there. Oh man,
that was hilarious. Yeah,
classic, man. I don't know how. It's such a sensitive topic though that some people probably were like, oh, but man, that's what you need. You need a little laughter in your life,
Absolutely.
Like I thought it was like so. That's probably why it didn't get more. Because to me, it should have been on the news and whatever, right? But it's too bad. You got to get that guy some good sponsorships out there.
Absolutely.
East Coast Lifestyle's got to get their get their look on him. He's not training yet, but he is.
He does jiu-jitsu, and that's it. He teaches Thursdays sometimes, and he'll get the training in too. But other than that, no, he doesn't do any Muay Thai or anything anymore.
Yeah. I know he was going to fight for us at one point, but it's a smart decision, man. If you're not into it in your head, you got to he's got two great, beautiful kids and a great wife. Like that's what you got to focus on. So it's smart. And it's funny because a lot of people don't make that decision. So it's nice to see, and you see him now from then to now, and you look at him, how happy he is. He looks great, right? Like it just, things things work out for the better sometimes. So I'm sure he misses it a hell of a lot though.
Oh yeah. Guaranteed. Who does it? When you're into that kind of stuff, it's just, if you get away from it for some amount of time, then you're going to miss it. It's just, it's in your blood.
What's the whole thing for you? Like, what's your plan in the future? Are you doing this to like eventually get to the UFC, or is it?
But if the potential is there, absolutely, yeah. I could do that. Just to get a couple wins under my belt. We'll start slow, and then maybe challenge for the title.
Nice.
And then maybe go pro after that. or if I feel like I can go pro before that, then I will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then just ride the wave. For
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that's it. It's kind of hard to predict that kind of shit too when you kind of have to go through day by day right now with if we're going to even be able to do events. But hopefully, I don't know about. I haven't heard anything from Elite One, but I assume that they're going to be back doing events as soon as they're allowed having a crowd.
Yeah.
I would assume. I hope they are because New Brunswick needs a good, strong promotion. It's good to have two strong promotions kind of working together, giving more opportunities for athletes during the year, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
the fighters too. Fighters right there. Blow off some steam, maybe.
What's that? Yeah, well, then if you can fight in like January and then line it up and then there's another card, or even 6-8 weeks apart. Like how many athletes on the East Coast have actually fought like regular 6 weeks apart? Probably not many.
Not many, no.
No, maybe
I fought 3 times in 1 year span, and that was it. And then it's been like a year and a half, maybe 2.
Yeah. So it's been hard with everything, but hopefully I know between them and there's Bruno up there who does great events, and we'll be in New Brunswick too. Eventually, that's no secret for us. We're going to be trying to go there. We're going to try to go to Newfoundland if we can. PEI, probably no chance in hell they'll ever let us over there, but
no one's allowed there anymore.
No, but Newfoundland I think has shown some interest, so that's a good sign anyway, because I think you could go over there and blow the socks off St. John.
Off the rock.
I think you could. They don't even have right now, I think because of COVID or before COVID, I don't even think they have a basketball team. Is it maybe, or
no idea.
Like they don't have a major junior hockey team like the Mooseheads or anything. I don't know what they have, but long story short.
I thought.
What is it?
They used to have a hockey team, I thought.
The Ice Caps or Ice Dogs or something like Sea Dogs. No, that's St. John. Sea Dogs is in St. John. Now we're all screwed up. Yeah, in New Brunswick. But either way, it would be cool. It's if you can get everybody doing all these events, man, it would definitely be important for athletes. I see you competed at Nick's event there. How was that?
It was good. I felt confident actually for once, so that was good.
Good for you.
First one out, and then a lot of talented people there, man. So
yeah, there was.
It was a tough go, but yeah, that was fun. I'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, well, that's the I guess like the more you can do these events too, or little events, like the more you can get people out competing, the better, right? It's going to work on, like you said, the mental side of everything.
Absolutely.
I remember you say about getting there early, because I remember setting up tournaments and stuff and you were always there early.
Yeah.
That's good, man. You're always nice and prepared. Your boss probably loves that.
Oh, well, no, not really.
No? Why?
I don't really know. I'm parked in the parking lot, sipping on my coffee and reading the book, or, watching an article, watching jiu-jitsu videos. I don't like to be late, so I'd rather just be early.
Headspace clear going into work.
That's right.
Good for you. Do you do any like meditation or yoga, any of that kind of stuff?
The girlfriend actually has me doing yoga when we can, I guess. She teaches me and helps me out with that. Mm-hmm. Aaron, a guy that at the gym, was doing yoga on Saturdays at the gym. Try to get out there, but I'm trying to work as much overtime as possible, so I didn't actually get out, but I planned on it. Hopefully, when that opens back up, we can get that going again.
Nice. Yeah, did you notice? I notice a big difference when I do it for real. Like,
that was awesome.
I don't like. Some people like. I just have to. If I could train myself to do meditation or yoga, like I can train myself to go to the gym, not but like go do jujitsu. Then it would be. But it's just for some reason it's way harder for me to just sit down and get away from everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of boring. Sometimes you're listening to the person talking and you're just like, okay, well, whatever. But you just gotta push your mind through it and get through it. And it's a mental thing for sure.
It definitely is. But if you can come out on the other side of it, and it's even like, reading those books, doing anything, man, anything to help your mental state is so important, especially with this whole bullshit we're going through right now. And what do you do again, Kealan? You work like as a trade?
I'm a pipe fitter at the shipyard.
I thought so. That's right, down there. So that's quite busy work.
Yeah. I'm always in tight, dirty areas trying to fix boats up and Well, we're building the new ones now, so it's not as bad. But where I'm a
Nice.
small guy, they like to put me in the small spots.
Oh no,
Yeah, it's not.
you're not claustrophobic then, or?
No, I'm not claustrophobic.
Oh,
Can't be
dude.
claustrophobic and do jujitsu.
Yeah, well, true enough. Yeah, I guess I know. I've also heard other like buddies of mine who are welders that work on ships too, and they've told me that they're like smaller guys. They're like they always put me in these fucking small spots, man.
Yeah,
They're,
because
they're,
you're there. Yeah. Some of the places are so small, like you're crunched up like this, and you got to wield a wrench, and it's just brutal.
man.
But
How long have you been doing that?
I've been a pipe fitter since I was 18, so I'm 31 now, 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
What is that hat?
On my hat? It's from Naruto. It's an anime show. I like
Okay.
I watch anime, so
Nice.
it's one of my favorite shows.
Like that's all you watch is anime?
No. Sometimes I just watch movies and Netflix and stuff, but anime, like if I'm gonna watch something, sit down, relax, and watch something, it's gonna be anime for sure.
Now, what got you into that now?
I like Dragon Ball growing up, Dragon Ball Z, and like
Nice.
Inuyasha, stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff. So
Very cool.
I got a Dragon Ball tattoo here. So I mean,
That's
it's
a nick.
like
Is that your nickname?
Super Saiyan, yeah.
Yeah,
Super Saiyan.
that's right. So
Yeah.
that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm really old, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never watched any anime at
No?
all. No,
Fun.
fucking lame, aren't I?
Yeah.
I gotta start. So if I was gonna watch some, what would I watch? Dragon Ball Z.
Good, yeah. Naruto's good. Hunter x Hunter, One Piece is good. There's all kinds of good ones. You just gotta. I have Crunchyroll. It's like a Netflix for anime.
Oh, cool.
It's like you can just watch whatever. There's a lot of
Nice.
it's Japanese though. You have to read subtitles, but some of it's English.
You don't mind?
No, I don't mind.
No, you're so used to it probably now.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Interesting. What else makes you tick, man, outside the gym? Like what's something that, like obviously right now with COVID, like there's not much to do, but like if you had to do something that's gonna.
Well, I have mats downstairs, probably 10 feet by 20 feet worth of mats in my basement. So
Mhm.
I still get some training in. I got a grappling dummy and whatnot. And so training, running, whatever. I used to run a lot. I haven't lately because it's getting cold. But
Yeah.
Baki the Grappler is another sick one. Yes, it is.
Is that
It's another anime. It's on Netflix.
about a grappler?
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Very cool. Baki the Grappler. Thanks, Lucas Hammond.
What was I saying? Nothing else really, man. All I really do is work in gym and
Yeah.
I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, I play a card game Yu-Gi-Oh! But
Is that online?
no, you can play online, but it's like actual cards. Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know anything.
Trading card game.
You're throwing me for a loop in my notes here, Kealan. I didn't have this written down. I'll have to research this. Yeah, so is it like kind of big groups of people can get together?
Yeah, there's tournaments held every every Saturday usually, except not with COVID. But
Yeah.
we got a couple guys from the gym and actually a couple other guys. We'll get together every so often and play.
Nice.
A little harder now, but we've done it on Skype and whatnot. So
badass.
Yeah, we figured.
It's funny, like how many friends do you have now that are outside the gym? Any?
A couple.
Yeah.
Not as many as I have in the gym. They're like my family over there, man. It's just we all get along great. We hang out outside the gym, get along well. It's a really good atmosphere to be in that kind of gym. So I love it for sure.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing, man. The camaraderie like that when you can just get along and everybody knows the grind and everybody knows what they're kind of doing and in it together. It's a wonderful thing, man. Same goal, different day. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, man. I'd love to see if we do a team grappling event. I'd like to see who's Fit Plus would throw up there. You guys got a lot of good guys.
Yeah, be interesting to see that for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. You have lots of females in the up and coming too, didn't you?
We got a lot of kids that are females that are really good. We don't have many adult jiu-jitsu females. A few Muay Thai, but. Yeah, not many jiu-jitsu females. We're working on it though.
Yeah, well, that's it. You got to start. So you're the kids instructor, right?
One of them, yeah. Zach does it as well. Scott as well. It's just whoever.
Which Zach?
Garcia.
Garcia.
Yeah, he
Nice.
does the weekends. I do the weekdays.
Is Davis training there too?
Davis still trains. Yeah.
No. Man, what a fight to start the card.
Oh man, it was
Whew.
balls to the walls.
Dude, he
Oh,
just like fucking just went straight at John.
Oh,
Like John's like, what's going on? Like he
he's got
just
a gas tank on him, man.
does
He's
he
got
ever?
a gas tank on him. So, and he knew it. So, get the nerves out the right way, I guess. Just
Yeah. Yeah. That was I think he I'm trying to think because I'm pretty sure that was I can't remember now, but how that fight came together.
I have no idea.
Because I think there was someone else he was supposed to fight first. Like I think
Isaiah, maybe. Oh no, I think John was supposed to fight Isaiah, maybe. But Isaiah,
yes, and I think Zach was supposed to fight Buddy from New Brunswick. I think
I don't know.
The guy who fought Isaiah. I think.
Okay.
Anyway, Isaiah is he around?
He's in Cape Breton. He's
Full
moved
time?
there, starts his business or something. Yeah, I think he's moved there for good.
Oh, okay. He's done school and everything.
I think he's down at SOB. They were like affiliated, so
Yeah.
it's I think that's where he's at. I'm not sure. I think I've seen him in one of the pictures.
With Mr. McKenzie.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna beat up
The man
Isaiah.
himself. Yeah.
Isaiah's a good kid.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, it's any other than these influences that we spoke about before, anybody outside of the gym that that made you kind of wanting to get into martial arts?
No, not really. That made me want to get into martial arts, but like to better myself, my parents and my family, and I always want to be the best version of myself.
Yeah.
And be for them.
Awesome.
So I just try to push myself to be the better me. And that's what martial arts does to you.
Very well said, man. I love that. And that's exactly it, because when they say everybody's on a different path, like it's not this cliche thing, like it's not just about martial arts, it's about life. Like everybody, a lot of the times the path you walk is the one you make, and you're doing all the right things, man. Surrounding yourself with the right people and working hard, and it's paying off. So I'm super proud of you, man. Very happy for you, and hopefully the career blows up in 2021 and 2022.
What I'm aiming for.
That's it.
He's under the belt, right?
That's it, man. Fingers crossed. FLA and Elite One double champ.
Yeah, double champ.
Sound champ.
There's not many bantamweights, so we'll see.
No, there's not. But I'm shocked we have like 300 people registered to fight on our database now, from like a lot of places, but still locally there's like, I can't get over the people who are confident fighting without training. It fucking blows me away daily.
That's crazy.
Shit blows me away.
Like, I only did it the first time. I fought at 165 my first fight, so like I was huge.
Yeah, that's a big for you.
Like it was in a ring, and he like stepped over the top rope to get in, and I was like, "Fuck." But anyway, yeah, I beat him. So
nice.
Ref stoppage at the end of the round. He was out of it. So that's what made me want to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And a little downhill, but it's gonna go uphill very soon. I feel it.
Well, that's it, man. Like you said, you did a lot of the right things, keep training hard, but also fixing the holes that you knew you had to work on, man. So kudos to you for that. And any quick shout outs you want to give to anybody before we get going, Kealan?
Shout out to my team for sure. Fit Plus, all the boys, MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, whatever you do, everybody there. My coach, Scott McLean, my parents, my brothers, my family, all my friends back home and everywhere else. Just everybody I know.
Attaboy. Sharing the love, man. You're always very supportive online. You're a supportive guy, and keep that up, man. It's a great trait. So hopefully we can see you in the cage very soon, man.
Let's hope.
All right, buddy. You enjoy your weekend again. There you have it, folks. Where can everybody find you online, Kealan?
KSam902 on Instagram, and Kealan Samson on Facebook. Super Saiyan Samson on Facebook. I have my own fan page. That's it. I don't have Twitter or anything.
No, fuck Twitter.
Fuck
we
Twitter.
have it. It's stupid. It's a bunch of people. Oh man, I hate it. So stupid. I actually hate all social media, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's not like I'm on it. I'm not a lot less than I used to be, but it's just
Me too. And I get a notification every week. It's like your screen time is down, and I try to keep lowering it, but like, obviously I have to do it for this business, but fuck, I hate it. If there's one thing in the world I hate, it's social media. So anyway, it is what it is. You just in here, out here, down there. All right, buddy. Lots of love, man. You have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Okay, pal. There you have it, folks. Kealan Samson, Fit Plus MMA. Awesome guy. A guy who's been very supportive of our scene in the back. Always there supporting, competing, and just a great guy coming from a great gym. So thanks for joining us, Kealan. Again, folks, this episode sponsored by our friends at Datsusara. Check them out online, dsgear.com. Gis, kimonos, no-gi, shirts, golf bags, hoodies, whatever you need. Made 100% by hemp, antimicrobial. Struggle with that. Antibacterial. I don't know what I was saying. But yeah, also shout out to our friends at BC Kimonos, just dropping some new gear. BC Kimonos with a beautiful hoodie. They've just dropped. And yeah, fantastic. Guys, it's coming up in the holidays. Make sure you get out there and support local, any of our sponsors. It all helps, whether it's Beat It, Envisage Sport, Maritime Madness, BC Kimonos, Datsusara, CBD Dream Team. The list goes on and on of these people who Conway Customs and Truro. The list goes on and on of people who support our brand. And without them, it certainly is impossible. So thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of our fans at home from around the world who enjoy and watch the podcast. And have a wonderful holiday. We will be back this weekend. We have a couple episodes. So we'll be back tomorrow and Sunday with back-to-back episodes. Lots of love to all the healthcare workers and frontline staff as well out there, keeping everybody safe and working your ass off on the front lines. It's not easy, but keep it up. We're very grateful for you. So lots of love. Be good to one another out there, folks. Be kind. I can't stress that enough. Be kind to one another. Lots of love.